The US tax system is based on the calendar year. Some people have good years and not so good years. And the idea of putting money aside in the good years when your taxes are higher makes a lot of sense, as long as you can put that money away, get the tax deduction, and then invest that money tax free so that you can give whenever you want.
For our Be the Change segment this month, we are featuring Daffy, the donor advised fund with a mission to help people be more generous more often. I've invited the co founder and CEO of Daffy, Adam Nash, on the show today. We're going to discuss the advantages of a donor advised fund and how Daffy makes the process easier and better. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Andy, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on and talking about this important topic. Now, first things first, what is a donor advised fund?
Donor advised funds have been around for a long time, but most people haven't heard of them. It's a tax advantage account, not unlike a 401k or an IRA for retirement or a 529 plan for college. A donor advised fund is a simple account where you can put money or assets into it, get that tax deduction for making a charitable contribution, and then have the money invested tax-free for you so that you can donate to any legal charity in the US anytime you want, with all those benefits of having the time to pick the organization and causes that mean the most to you.
Got it. So how does this differ from me just donating to my favorite charity directly as opposed to a donor advised fund? I guess what are the advantages of doing that?
Well, there's a few advantages, really three. Giving is a few hard problems wrapped up into one. The first hard problem is, how much can you afford to give? Most people don't have giving in their budget. And so every time someone asks you, you're reaching into your wallet and trying to think, can I do that this month? And donor advised funds really abstract that problem away. The second problem, of course, is making that decision of which organization to give your money to. And then again, donor advised funds give you that ultimate gift of time to actually make those decisions intelligently so you feel good about where your money's going. And then the third reason turns out to be taxes. The US tax system is based on the calendar year. Some people have good years and not so good years. And the idea of putting money aside in the good years when your taxes are higher makes a lot of sense, as long as you can put that money away, get the tax deduction, and then invest that money tax-free so that you can give whenever you want. So all those three things come together, and our members tell us it really changes the way they give and actually makes them more generous.
I love that. Yeah, we're all about generosity on the show, especially on this segment of Be the Change. We want to be the change that we want to see in the world. So I want to talk to you specifically about donor advised funds because they've been around for a while. How is Daffy differentiating itself and, kind of being a disruptor in this market for donor advised funds?
Yeah, it's actually really simple. I mean, as I said, donor advised funds have been around for a long time. And so if you go to a Fidelity or a Schwab or Vanguard, they'll have them. But the reason most of us haven't heard of them is because today they really cater to the wealthy, right? It's a product that advisors, high-end wealth managers, or accountants recommend to their clients. But for normal people, they may not have an advisor, they may not have an accountant, so they haven't heard of it. And the reason that happens is because the traditional firms price their accounts based on a percentage of the assets in the account, right? So they charge a fee. So if you have $10,000 in an account, you pay 10 times more than someone who has $1,000 in an account. And so most of those institutions focus on very wealthy people with a lot of money to give away. But most Americans aren't like that. Most people, the 60 million households every year who give to charity in the US, give to a few organizations, 3 to 5, maybe a few $100s. And we built Daffy for them. Daffy is a donor advised fund where instead of charging a percentage of assets, we charge a flat membership fee. It's very inexpensive. And we've really designed the app with modern technology to make it easier for people and their families to give.
I love it. Yeah, not only does it probably encourage the giving, but it makes the process a little bit more fun and accessible. So you said cost. So as opposed to Fidelity or Schwab or those guys, what do you guys charge per month for that?
I mean, we actually started at a free tier. So if you are giving under $100, you just want to get started, you want to put aside $10 every week or $25 every month, you can use Daffy to do that. Most of our members pay $3 a month. It's $5 for a family plan. And at the very high end, we have tiers for people who want to contribute an unlimited amount of stock in crypto. But that's a very small audience. But the features itself are really designed around giving. We treat it like Apple Health, right? It's just like getting your 10,000 steps a day. We ask you this simple question when you join, which is how much do you want to give to charity every year? And then we let you hit your goal. We help you hit your goal. And then, of course, we celebrate, right? If these apps can make it fun to spend and fun to save and fun to invest, why can't we make it fun to give? And we really designed that into the app from the ground up.
Got it. Is there some automation into the process? Because I understand, we have the best intention of giving, but sometimes we forget. So is there automation involved as well?
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the great things that software can do, right? Our mission at Daffy is to help people be more generous more often. And so the app has built in things like recurring contributions, recurring donations, right? Most people support the same organizations every year, right? Maybe it's your church or synagogue, maybe it's your kid's school, maybe it's your alma mater or a cause you really believe in. And most people really get upset when they forget or miss those donations. But that's natural, right? Life is busy. We have work, we have family, we have social life. And very often, giving isn't top of that list, even though it's important to people. And so when you set up your goal, we help you hit that goal by asking what organizations you care about and then making that automatic. Now, the best part is, of course, is you still have this app in your pocket so that anytime someone asks you to give to an organization you don't normally give to, you already have the money put aside to do it. And that's really a wonderful feeling to be able to give when you want to give.
I think that's fantastic. Now, you guys have a new feature, as I understand, Daffy for Families. Can you talk a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, we're really proud of this. What we hear for our members is that most people were raised to believe that giving is part of living a good life, and it's something they want to pass on to their children. It's also something they very often share with their parents, their siblings, grandparents, a whole host of people. And so Daffy for Families lets you add up to 24 people onto an account where you as the organizer can fund the account, of course, and make decisions about what to give to, but any family member can make a recommendation. I mean, if Apple can do it for iTunes and Amazon can do it for shopping, I have 4 children myself, and so I get plenty of these requests. It seems like it's a part of modern parenting. I mean, even Xbox has a family plan. But none of the existing donor advised funds did. And we were shocked to find that out. And so we designed Daffy to support families because it makes it a wonderful way to engage your children or your family on these topics of who you give to and why. I mean, I'll tell you personally, my children are all on it. I made a donation with my wife, like we do every year, to the Monterey Bay Aquarium. We love it. It's a wonderful institution. And my oldest came to me and said, "How long have we been supporting the Monterey Bay Aquarium? I love that place. We should go more often." And it may sound small, but it's very hard to get those moments with your family members, with your children. We may get them around Thanksgiving once or twice a year, but the app, we think, can help spark those conversations on an ongoing and natural pace that makes parenting just a little bit easier.
Now, you co-founded this organization. Was it the fact that you were a father and you wanted to have more of these conversations with your kids, or what was the reason you wanted to start Daffy?
Yeah, the founder journey is always funny. It always comes from multiple places. And Daffy was actually started during the pandemic, where I think there was a lot of awareness around the need to support local organizations and support each other. But yeah, actually, my kids did influence me. I have 4 children, as I mentioned, and they all went to this wonderful school that has this nice tradition. Every Friday, the kids are asked to bring in spare change, and they put it in a little piggy bank. And then once a quarter, they all vote on which local organization to give that money to. And it's a wonderful way to teach children to put money aside for those less fortunate than themselves. And I asked myself, why do we teach our children to do this? But we don't do it ourselves as adults. And then it hit me, they do. Actually, the wealthy do this. Sometimes they do it for tax reasons, but the donor advised fund exists. It's just no one knows about it. And I've had the good fortune to be involved in technology for most of my career. I spent the last 10 years on financial applications like Wealthfront, where I was the CEO, or Acorns, where I was on the board. And I said that same question, like, why can we help people save, right? Millions of people saving with Acorns, millions of people investing in apps like Wealthfront and Robinhood. But why can't we do the same for giving? It's a huge market. I mean, individuals like you and me give over 300 billion a year to charity in the US. And yet, where are those great apps and tools to do that? And so, fortunately, one of my favorite engineers that I worked with at LinkedIn was available, and he had worked on philanthropy too. And we decided to take the leap and start Daffy. I mean, Daffy literally stands for the Donor Advised Fund for You.
I love that. That's a great name, and I'm glad to see the power of big tech coming together, philanthropy, and I think it's a fantastic cause. Now, if you could look 5 years in the future, I know you guys are a newer organization. Where do you see major success? Where do you see you're 5 years out saying, yeah, we did it. I feel really good where we are. What happens in 5 years from now?
I mean, for us, it's a very simple idea. We think that this is a wonderful way for individuals and families to give. And so for us, we just want to see more people in the Daffy community sharing the organizations and causes that they believe in and that they support. I've been on the board of a couple nonprofits. I'm a co-chair of one right now. And I will tell you, nonprofits, there's almost 2 million of them across the US, and they struggle. They struggle to find the people to volunteer. They struggle to find people for their events. They of course struggle for fundraising, but also to find people on their boards and to get involved with their services. There's no place for them to go. You can't assume that Instagram or Facebook or Twitter is a right place to go for giving. And so our hope is that as we build this community, the community will start inspiring each other with ideas about who to give to and why they give and why they support organizations. We have a feature on Daffy. It's optional, but whenever you give to an organization, you can leave a note, just like Amazon or Yelp, about why you give. And these notes are deeply personal and moving, right? People talk about parents and grandparents who have passed away and their support for organizations or supporting people who are in similar situations. And you know, in a world where we don't get enough exposure to the good that people do every day, we really hope this can become a place where people who care about giving and care about others can find other like-minded individuals to inspire them.
I think that's great, Adam. Yeah, I can give you a little background anecdote too from the note giving side of things. My son, we encouraged him to give and think about the things that he was very thankful for in his life, and he was very thankful for his home. And he said, "Oh, I want to give to people who don't have a home." You know, so we gave to an organization called Say Detroit here in Metro Detroit that helps people who don't have homes get homes. And so he gave his $8 of his allowance money, chore money. And then he wrote a little note to the organization just saying, you know, I want to give people roofs, help people have roofs so they can have a home. Not only did they write him back, but the founder, Mitch Albom, a best-selling author, asked him to come on his radio show and got to meet him in person. And they had a great conversation. And my son, that it was recorded, kind of helped as well, has this lifelong mission, lifelong desire to want to give back. Because he saw the impact and because he saw that people really get help in this certain situation. And I think it's fantastic to not only make these connections and give the donations, but also to reach out to a broader purpose in your life. And I think you guys are doing that with Daffy. So thank you very much for being on the show today and telling us about your great organization. Where can people learn more about Daffy and learn to sign up?
Oh, it's very simple. So we were the first fully functional donor advised fund in the App Store. So if you go to the Apple App Store, you can just search for Daffy. You'll find it and download the app and get started. If you don't want to do that, you can just go to daffy.org and learn all about the service. And like I said, you can try it out for free.
Excellent. Adam, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I am honored to talk to you knowing that you are on this mission to be the change you want to see in the world. I love it. Thank you.
No, thank you, Andy. And thank you for having us.